Yes, people. What's going on? It's Egal Talks Football, and we're back again with another video. Today is extra time, as you guys already know, and my boy Dabs from Never a Foul will be joining us very, very soon. As you guys already can see by the title of the video, we're going to be talking about Antonio Conte's sacking and everything that's going on at Tottenham. We're going to be talking about Erling Haaland, Nick Pope, and Marcus Rashford, and a bunch of players missing out on international duty due to an injury. And are they actually injured, or is this just a power play to make sure that they're prepared for the second half of the season, since there is only 10 games remaining in the business half of the season in the Premier League, and in addition to cup competitions and so on and so forth. Also, 10 games left for Arsenal. 10 games left for Arsenal in the Premier League. We have no Europa League. We have no FA Cup. We have no distractions. At this moment in time, Arsenal have 10 games to see if they can get Premier League glory or if they can be left with the season with no trophies. That's pretty much it. There is no in between. The reality is either we win the Premier League or we end the season with no trophies, but with massive improvements at the end of the day. But it still would be a massive letdown if we don't win that Premier League. Now, going in after the international break, Liverpool face Man City, and it is at Anfield. So that could be an interesting game. That could be a game that changes the title. That could be a game that decides the title. And don't forget, Arsenal still also have to go to Anfield this before the season ends. We also still have to play Chelsea, and Man City also still have to play Chelsea. The two teams have an interesting way to go. But before we go any further, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Hope everyone's doing well. Daps will be joining us very, very soon. Let's see what some of you guys have to say in the chat. We got people talking about Haaland's injury. What a shame for City fans. Don't worry. I don't think his injury is that serious. It's something minor. It's not that serious, right? Arteta has sacked. Mikel Arteta has asked the board to sign Brahim Diaz. Guys, this one here has intrigued me. If you guys don't know who Brahim Diaz is, I'll show you who I'm talking about. Apparently, Arsenal are interested in former Manchester City attacking midfielder Brahim Diaz. Yes, it is quite interesting to say the least, because I didn't think we were going to be going for him anymore. I thought the fact that he's at AC Milan and he's still quite young, not fully proven, I didn't think we would go for him. But the fact is, we are heavily linked to him, and it's not once, not twice. This is the third time now we've heard Arsenal being linked to Brahim Diaz. Now, let me just show you guys the article, because I think the person who tweeted it out was my guy. 1 second. Let me just show you guys the article. Oh, also, if you guys don't know, we're going to be headed to the United States on tour. So Arsenal fans in the United States, make sure you get your tickets. Make sure you get your stuff sorted out. We got a couple things to show you guys before we go any further. So as we're waiting for Dabs, let's just get into this. So first, Mikel Arteta has asked the Arsenal board to bring in Brahim Diaz. This is an attacking midfielder who's currently playing for AC Milan, who just recently won the Scudetto. It is a situation where it would be a little bit different to what we very similar actually to Emil Smith-Rowe, I would say. More similar to Emil Smith-Rowe than Martinelli or Trossard or any of those other guys that we have playing in that position at this moment in time. But I'm not too familiar with his game. I've just seen bits and bobs here and there of the guy, so I wouldn't be able to give you too much information on him. Brahim Diaz, if you guys don't know, is quite young. I'm doing good. Shout out to my guy here. I always see you watching the shorts, giving me comments. I appreciate the comments, ladies and gentlemen. And this guy right here, Train 26. How do you pronounce his name? Kajoling, Train 26. Big up to you. You're a real one. You've been subscribed. You've been keeping it locked on the channel, making sure you let everyone know what's going on every time you get an opportunity to watch, and I really do appreciate that. Now, if you guys don't know, the under 17s Arsenal team, under 17s has some Arsenal team players in. Ethan's in there at this moment in time, right? And then when it comes to the USA tour, Arsenal have confirmed that they're going to be playing in Washington, and they're going to have a game against the MLS All-Stars, led by none other than Wayne Rooney himself. So Arsenal will be playing up against the MLS All-Stars, and Wayne Rooney and the MLS All-Stars will be facing off against us. And it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be an interesting one. But yeah, as we're waiting for DAPS, I just wanted to give you guys a quick little update. I'm going to be doing a more in-depth Arsenal news video later today, but make sure you guys do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Big up, Egal. I know that looks too far ahead, but who do you like to see coming in the summer? I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think Arsenal are going to go and sign Declan Rice. I really do believe Arsenal are going to go and they're going to make a massive move to go sign Declan Rice in the summer, and that's who I think we're going to get. I think that's who we're going to go and get. I don't think it's going to be a situation where we sign anybody else in that. Besides Declan Rice, like I know we're linked to Casado and everybody else, we could still get more than that. But at this moment in time, I think the priority for the club is going to be to try to get Declan Rice through the door. And if we can get Declan Rice through the door, that would be massive. That would be a massive deal. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think Arsenal is going to win the Premier League or Man City? Would you rather win the Europa or come in second in the Prem? I'd rather win a trophy. You don't win anything for coming in second. I'm sorry. I don't like that mentality where people say, I'd rather come second. Why would anyone rather come second? You would always rather win. You would always rather win. You'd always rather be the team that lifts silverware at the end of the season. Who, no disrespect to you, my friend, but who actually would say, you know what, I would rather finish second in the league than win Europa League? No. Because you win the Europa League, not only are you in the Champions League, you have silverware, you have a European trophy, and I wanted it. Everyone in the question, let me know what you guys think. Everyone in the chat, let me know what you guys think. Now that we're out of the competition, it's a different story. Of course, now that we're out of the competition, you want to finish as high as possible in the league. But when you're still in the competition, you want to try to win it. I'm not one of these people who is gonna sugarcoat things and say, "Oh, I'm happy we lost." No, I'm not happy we lost, but I'm not gonna dwell over it for days on end. Egal, you need to pattern up Dord. He's putting a bad name to Somalis. Nah, Dawood's nice, bro. He's going to be on tomorrow, inshallah. That's my guy, Dawood. Daps is on his way now, just finishing his stream. Big up to him. First time, you're one's, what? First timer, you're one of my hated, what? First time, you're one of my hate 'em, love 'em fellas online. Big up to you. I really appreciate that. It took me a second to try to figure out what you said there. Hey, sent over first time Dabs channel, Man City fan. Big up to you, Jessica Lampert. Let me know what you think about Erling Haaland. Do you think he's actually injured, or do you think it's just a precaution to make sure he doesn't get re-injured or re-aggravated in throughout the thing? And guys, Daps is in the building, so we're now gonna go to Daps, but also keep putting the questions in the chat. I love the questions, ladies and gentlemen. I love the questions. So yo, Daps, what's going on, bro?
You good?
I'm good, man. Listen, I was just warming up the crowd, getting everyone used to what's going on today. You already know what we're going to be talking about, but I got a wrench in the plan. Arsenal news. We're linked to a former Man City player. You know anything about Brahim Diaz?
What?
AC Milan. He came from your academy.
Is that where he is now? Right. So yeah. So he was. I think it was him. It was him, Foden, and Sancho. That when Pep first joined City, I'm sure it was, were the three players that were like Pep wanted to take on tour with us. This is before Foden was he was known about, and contracts got offered to all three of them. Foden and Diaz signed them, and Sancho went AWOL, right? And did Diaz? Is it him that went Real? Did he go Real?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I don't like. Look, he never. At that point, it was kind of like we hadn't had anyone really come through the academy, and I think him and Sancho both knew, look, he's going to be Foden in it. So, yeah, I don't really look. Is he doing well in Milan? At Milan,
he won the league. I don't know if he's playing too much.
Was he playing much or?
Nah, not really. You got Leal on the same side as him.
Look, do you know? Funnily enough, we were just speaking on Arsenal and transfer targets and whatever, and
yeah, Arsenal.
I think Arteta. Look, I always get asked about City, who City need in this position, that position, and my answer is, you know what? Trust the manager, trust the board. And I think Arteta right now, with the way you lot are going, I've said this to you before. When people start saying who they think Arsenal should get, my answer to that is usually, if Arsenal get the players that you want to get, they probably won't be the right fit. and they probably won't have the right mentality. Arteta will get you players that are pulling in the same direction as him. So that's the way. Look, for content creation, it's a shit answer, but that's the truth of it. Like, so if Arteta sees something in him, you never know. You never know.
Do you want to know something? Did you see what Man City posted, by the way? Man City, your club, posted something that got people kind of triggered in a weird way. Because
not the Ake thing, is it?
No, I viewed it as a little bit respectful. Man City posted this on their official website. City and Arsenal, an unlikely Premier League connection. How the 2022-2023 title race sees a relationship between City and Arsenal taken to a new dynamic.
Bro, hold on. Right, and that's an official City thing.
This is the official website, bro.
Well, Man City. So I'll be 100 with you, yeah. That might be on City's website, but that does show a good relationship between the two clubs, because City would not have done that without a conversation with Arsenal.
You think so?
Bro, it's not City Extra. It's not MCFC lads. It's not me. It's not a City content creator coming up with this narrative. Why would Man City, like, as a business, happily, because this is promoting Arsenal as well. It is, yeah? So it's, bro, that's a bit mad.
Let me show you. Do you think I would make this up? This is literally the Twitter account.
No, I don't. It does seem mad. But look, when clubs do things like that, bro, clubs are not going to push another club. And maybe it is that Arsenal and Man City boards have spoken, said, you know what? We need to do something because there's this whole, which title races are the best title races over the years, right? And I've just been saying that people need to get to a point where Arsenal have earned to talk with chess now, yeah? After what the fans had to take at the start of the season, they've earned it, yeah? They are where they are.
Do you think this is amazingly.
And I don't know if maybe Arsenal and City have thought, you know what, yeah? We need to make this title race bigger, but here's the thing. The City and Liverpool one has become quite toxic. Like, where now every game there's issues, like big issues that's hitting the media. So maybe they've thought to go like, look, as football's growing, let's try and make this bigger by saying how these are two clubs that are progressing and taking it into the next level. I don't know.
The two players they mentioned is Kolo Touré and Adebayo. By the way, Adebayo.
Adebayo's a shit one to go with, by the way.
Adebayo retired today also, I think.
Yeah, I see that.
That's why people are mentioning him. They also mentioned
he's probably still earning 4 wages as well.
They mentioned Samir Nasri. They mentioned Gil Clichy.
Sagna.
Yeah, of course. They can't forget Sagna. Sagna is one of the.
And then how it's changed to now Arteta, Zinchenko, Jesus.
There you go. So they show Jesus and the fact that he ends up joining Arsenal. They show Pep and Arteta. They even get into Zinchenko and how Jesus and Zinchenko have been a big part of our season. And I think it's a good article for fans to go read, go check it out. They even
it does seem to me like something where, look, it's coming from City, fine, but it seems like maybe they've had, because I know City and Liverpool have had chats recently about how they can work together to make the relationship less toxic, because it's so toxic now, right? Like at games, it's getting really bad. So maybe this is like, do you know what? Right. So Saturday I was at the game and I was in one of the bars outside, and City have got this area called City Square, and they have cameras. They've got big screens on it, and they have cameras following the team bus into the area, and it's always a meet and greet and whatever. And I just thought, you know what? That's nothing like when I was a kid at Main Road, and that's definitely nothing like Old Trafford. Yeah, but I do think that's the type of thing that maybe Arsenal, with its global fan base, might do, right? And with the stadium it has, yeah, and now City have got like this new arena with like unreal and hope. Look, football is moving into a new era. Some will say, oh, you know what, it's plastic and all that crap, yeah, right? Look, I like the old school side of football. To me, when people talk about memories, some of my best memories at City are the people I go with and the vibe I have with them, right? But we don't want to go back to the 90s where people were getting battered and hooliganism, right? Some people say, oh, no, that's real football. Okay, I get it. Trust me. But really and truly, I don't want my kids going to that. So City and Arsenal can take it. to this global thing.
Did you see my tweet with the Arsenal ultras? That bro, it went super viral. Like I'm talking about, like my tweet.
They're from an area, weren't they?
Ashburton Army.
Yeah, that's
so
it. Yeah.
I posted this during the game. I walked up right in front of the crowd and went up to them to see what they look like and what they're doing and everything, right? And I took a great video of it. This video at this point on Twitter, let me show you, bro. It has 2.1 million views.
I saw it's in the tunnel, in it. They have flares and that.
Yeah, it was. They went in, and I even posted a video of it on my channel, so you guys can go check it out.
Do you want me to be completely honest with you?
You find it corny?
See the drummer?
Yeah.
Is the drummer Asian?
No, he's black.
Because the drummer's got rhythm, you know, and like sometimes the Asian drums.
Oh yeah. I thought you were saying the person holding the drums. Yeah, the drummer is Asian.
Yeah. I thought the way he was playing it, I thought, nah, that sounds like a kind of Indian type thing or something. Yeah. It's good, man. Look, this is what it's all about. It's about trying to make a match day experience. Now, cool. There will be people out there, and there'll be people in the comments, I know already, that little keyboard warriors, whatever, that think that a match day experience should be about getting pissed up, having a fight, all that crap, yeah? And it's probably coming from people that actually don't go to games, but they still think that is what it should be about, right? Trust me, I am old school, but I also am a father. I also definitely don't move like I used to when I was younger. And I want my kids and your kids and everyone else's kids to go and experience something that is wow, enjoyable, and not for the wrong reason. So,
you know what? I fully agree with that, Dabs. And people in the chat, let me know if you guys like these ultras and atmosphere.
I think the ultras are good as well. You know what? As well, I did get this vibe that your ultras, right? So ultras is a weird thing because ultras have this narrative that ultras are hooligans. Ultras aren't hooligans. Ultras are actually fans that just are ultra about their club and really support their club. And that's what you're doing. Like, you don't see that and think, oh my God, they're going to run up on me and punch me up. You think they're here to build a vibe. That's what they're here to do. So.
And you know what? Let's get into the games now. Bro, I went to the game. I don't know if you went to the game against
Burnley. I went to the game, yeah.
But honestly, Dabs, you're lucky to go to as many games as you go to. I went to 2 games in a row. I went to 2 games in a row. First time in my life, I went to 2 games back-to-back, an Arsenal game. I went to the Sporting game that we got knocked out, and I went to the game versus Crystal Palace. And the game versus Crystal Palace, Dabs, it was the easiest win I've ever witnessed at the Emirates. Like, I've been to games where we've scored a lot of goals, like 5-0 versus Nottingham Forest this season. That game was more difficult.
Yeah. I hear you. Do you know what? I messaged you when I was on the way to Manchester and said, I don't get why some people are coming up with this narrative that they're worried about this game. Like, and it's that they're trying to carry the hangover of
no, Saliba. People don't trust Rob Holding. I told you before the game.
I get that. I do get that. But
I don't.
Arsenal have done enough for you to now have confidence about beating these teams.
Let me please explain this to you. People wanted to play Kieran Tierney at right back to avoid Rob Holding playing.
Yeah.
That's how
Rob Holding was good against us, right?
He was good against Crystal Palace, but people don't want Rob Holding to play so much that they would rather play Thomas Partey right back, Kieran Tierney right back, Zinchenko right back. Even if they have to, they'd rather play Ben White right back and play KV or 2 left-footed center back.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what I feel it is slightly to a certain extent? Maybe is look.
I agree.
I'm not the biggest fan of Rob Holding, but if you think about it, Rob Holding last season, season before that, because he's been there for quite a while, yeah. He hasn't been that good. But do you know what? Arsenal also haven't been the same Arsenal. So now it's a different Arsenal. So maybe, just maybe, like, because if we're going to carry that same narrative, well, a lot of Arsenal fans didn't rate Arteta, didn't want Granit Xhaka, right? So, but now look at them. So now the system is perfected. Maybe Rob Holding can come in and do a job, but because of the previous, and I get it, maybe there's people out there better. I'm not a fan of him, but in the system, when a system is that good, people can slot in and people can look. Otamendi used to get a lot of kind of attacked by many people. Remember, he came in the Centurion season, 100 points. He was our best defender and made Premier League team of the season. No one ever would have seen that. But because Pep got the system working, now he had a job and he knew what his role was. So
fair enough. You know what? I'm going to just say there's 10 games remaining. The league title is going to be tight. Where are you worried about? Are you worried about the Liverpool game? Looking at City's game?
Bro, I just said to Lee and I just got asked, hold tight, Lee, like where the pressure is, right? And I said, look, it's very simple now. And this is the way a business end of the season title run goes. 12:30, Saturday the 1st of April, the pressure is on Manchester City because we're playing, you're not yet. If we lose to Liverpool, we stay 8 points. We go 8 points. If we lose to Liverpool, we stay 8 points behind you. But if you play at 3 p.m. If you at home against Leeds, I think you win. You then go 11 points ahead of us. We have a game in hand, but you're then 11 points. But we beat Liverpool. We've then got Liverpool out the way. It goes to 5 points with a game in hand. And then you have to score to take it back to 8 points. If you don't, all of a sudden, it drops from 5 points. We win our game in hand. It drops to 2 points. We beat you at the Etihad. So, look, every game now, it swings. Every game, we're both going to drop points at some point, in my opinion, right?
It's just we have more wiggle room.
Keep swinging. This is not going to be ended next weekend. I keep saying, for some reason, game week 37, right? I don't know why, and this is why I keep saying, Arsenal are now where they are. Start of the season, me included, even as someone that actually rates Arteta, rates Arsenal. I'm not an Arsenal hater, trust me. Yeah. I was doubting you could do what you've done this season. Yeah. So you've earned the right to have chest, right? The end of this season, firstly, someone asked the dumbest question. They were trying to say that, is this, if Arsenal don't win the league, is a bottle job, right? And the way that they explained it is that if you lose every game this season, is that a bottle job? And I'm like, that's ridiculous. Arsenal aren't going to lose that's the most bizarre thing to say, that all of a sudden Arsenal are going to go from where they are to losing every game to try and win your argument.
It's more hope. It's more hope than
you're not. Look, Arsenal are going to drop minimal points. City are going to drop minimal points, but we are both going to drop points. And look, this is, you know what? I was saying to Terry the other day, because someone's now, off the back of what Terry said about people are scared of Arsenal, I had someone say to me, everyone's scared of Arsenal. I was like, I'm sorry, this word's a weird word, yeah? Scared, right? Am I worried that we're not the best City? We drop points against Brentford. We drop points against Brighton or something, yeah? Yes. We're not scared of Arsenal. We've beat Arsenal twice this season. Scared, and also, do you know what? They're a good team. I'm not like, I'll keep saying it. They could. Now you're out of Europe, you couldn't be. But in the league, you could push us as far as Liverpool pushed us. You could beat us, yeah? So
1 second. Everyone in the chat, let me know where you guys think the slip-up is going to be, because people keep talking about it.
No one will get it, bro. Because people talk about Liverpool. People talk about the fact we've still got you. People talk about the fact we've still got Chelsea. No one talks about the fact City have to go to Brentford away, Brighton away, Fulham away, right? So Brentford away, last game of the season, bro. That's not an easy last game of the season.
You to win, though. That's the thing, Daps. Your expectation for your team is W's only. Anyways, people in the chat, if you guys want to get a W, hit that like button right now.
You have to, though, bro. That's the thing. The standards are where they are. And your standards are getting there now, right?
100%. That's why when it came on...
Let me put it this way. You went out of the Europa League, yeah?
Yes.
To a team that season in, season out, start the season in the Champions League, right? You started this season in the Europa League, right? And your whole fan base was disappointed, right?
Facts.
You went out to a team that were in the Champions League every season.
No, but
that shows you more levels now.
It's the manner that we went out that made people a little bit more understanding. We didn't get battered.
No, that's what I'm saying. Your standards are now there, that you're pissed off that you get beat by a team that's in the Champions League every season. On penalties.
You know what? Margins. I just want to say one thing. Daniel in the chat, big up Daniel. He's shout out to him on Twitter also. He's always on my case with Haaland. Let me just tell you something, Daps. Not my words. Hamza said Haaland's not world class because he views world class as players who've been doing it for 5 years consistently, and he hasn't gotten there yet for him, right? But that's up to him. What I said that got City fans upset was I said Erling Haaland's not the signing of the season because impact-wise, he hasn't impacted your team the same level as Casemiro has and the same level that
I disagree with that straight away. So firstly, right, so Casemiro, he's come into Man United, yeah? But if you deep it, and mentality, this is what I'm saying. Everyone goes on about the mentality brought. Bro, I'm sorry, yeah? We've recently had in Gundogan and De Bruyne, 2 players that I don't rate as captains, right? But I ain't never seen my team with them as captains or them as the guys bringing the mentality, losing 7-0 to our biggest rival, right? As a mentality, that's not a mentality. Getting sent off for 4 games, yeah? Stupid. I'm sorry. Right now, what you're saying about Haaland, firstly, the amount of goals he scored, which is relevant. Hold on, let me finish, bro. Which is relevant in the league. But here's the most important thing, because we're talking about the impact of the player on the team he's joined, yeah?
So, who's signing of the season? That's the question. And
right, I had well, bro, let's wait. But here's the thing. So let me finish. That is the type of question that should be asked at the end of the season. Because right now, you've just brought up Casemiro. I get it. He's joined a Man United team that haven't won anything, yeah? And now they've won a Carabao Cup. Now they're back in the top 4, yeah? Right. Right now, bro, we've got a man that is scoring for fun in the Champions League. A tournament, the one tournament that everyone says we must win. Now, if we win the Champions League, what, are you going to tell me that Haaland hasn't had a bigger effect than Casemiro?
But it wasn't only Casemiro. You didn't let me finish. I also said Zinchenko. I had 2 players.
Sorry, Champions League. If we win the Champions League, which we failed, and everyone says we bottle it, if we win the Champions League, when Haaland's scoring goals, 5 goals, the amount of goals he scored in the Champions League, I'm sorry, bro, Champions League. If he doesn't, we'll have a conversation. Okay. But this is a conversation.
If he wins the Champions League, and he's the difference maker as he always is, guarantee, no question about it. Everyone's going to say he's the signing of the season. You're silly to question it. But if he only gets
Trossard's got a shout. Like
1 second. But if he only gets the goal record and he doesn't, and you only win the FA Cup to end the season, and you don't win the league or the Champions League, Haaland should not be in signing of the season conversation.
So tell me what Zinchenko's done. By the way, everyone, you know I love Zinchenko, but tell me what he's done.
Zinchenko has revolutionized the way that we play football. Based
on
the
fact that, no, okay,
no, the way Arteta's using him, maybe Pep was using him in a similar fashion, but the fact is, when he comes into our team, he's transformed the way that we play. He gives us more control of the ball. He gives us more control in the attacking third. He pops up in the midfield. He pops up in the right back. He pops up all over the pitch. His leadership and his ability to come into the dressing room and immediately say, "We're not going for 4th. We're going for the league." He's the one that set the bar. He's the one that set the standards. Everyone's trying to reach his level. You told me about this. I know.
Thank you. There we go. That's exactly what I was going to say. So everything you've just said, when you had me on your show in the summer, when you first started getting linked with him, everything you just said is exactly what I told you he brought you, right? And you saw it when you went to Chelsea in that friendly and beat them 4-0. That is Zinchenko's mentality. So I get it. But for me at the moment, it's too early to do it.
I guess that's the poll question I'm going to put there.
But it's not. No, the poll will do what they're doing. The fact of the matter is, and this is my issue with when awards get done before the season's over, like, because it's huge. Look, if Arsenal win their first Premier League in however long, I get it, right? If you don't win that, Man United win the FA Cup, the Europa League, then maybe Casemiro. But if City win the Champions League and it's because of Haaland goals, I'm sorry, it tops it all.
Okay, so right now, basically, whoever wins the Premier League, they get the major honors.
No.
Whoever wins the trophy.
Because if we win the Champions League, it tops it, bro, because it takes what we can't achieve. Everyone's telling us we can't do it. We've gone and changed our whole style of play, brought in Haaland. If we win the Champions League, for me, he's also getting the top goal scorer. For me, but end of season conversation.
Hey, fair enough. You know what?
I'm surprised you're putting. Signing. Saka wanted to sign in. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
We're gonna have conversations like this. But hey, what I did, guys, I put the poll question out there. Also, we have 90 of you guys in the chat. Hit that like button, guys. Absolutely free.
Yeah,
and let me know. Let me know what you guys are saying in the chat. Get involved. Haaland.
I think also price is relevant. How much you pay for Zinchenko?
35 mil? What was it? 35?
Still.
Egal, do you realize we are paying some what? We are playing the same formation Arsenal play. Yeah, I hear that. But you want to know another thing? People keep talking about Man City's goals this season, Haaland's goals this season. We don't have anybody who's scoring to the level of Haaland. But guess what? We've scored one less goal than you this season in the Premier League. In the Premier
League, yeah. Well, this shouldn't be a fucking Arsenal. This is the one thing that happened with Liverpool and City. It became, you're like the combined 11s where you're shit. Like I was getting told,
I'm not telling you shit.
Klopp is not a conversation, right? Bro, the fact of the matter is there's awkward things that sometimes as City fans we have to say, and same with Arsenal fans. You have to say, like, for example, when I said, and it rubbed Robbie up the wrong way, when we look at Europe, when I look at you lot in Europe, I get City in Europe vibes, right? You know what you're doing domestically, but the fact that your history in Europe and our history in Europe is very similar, yeah? And we both seem to struggle in Europe, but we can do it domestically. That's because heritage is a real thing. Once you win one, it becomes easier, right? Now, that's awkward. And people think I hate Arsenal now. No, because I started off saying I get it. We in Europe struggle at times.
Can I just jump off you? Pep has an issue, and I think Arteta has the same issue, where when it comes to these cup competitions, they need to play a little bit different to the way they play in the league. You can't
have to adapt to the team you're playing.
Tierney would have been perfect for that game against Sporting. Zinchenko wasn't necessarily needed, especially when you're not starting.
I think there's naivety as well, bro. When you don't know, there's naivety. If the fans can act. Look, I said this the other day on the City channel. Fans have to believe, right? That rubs off. We all know that Real Madrid, what's that? It's facts for me. We've not done it in Europe either. Yeah. It is what it is. This is a thing. But Arsenal fans, yeah, this is a funny thing about when people try and come at you lot or us lot about Europe. It's the same fan bases that want to be given so much fucking credit for what they've done in Europe, right? But then say, well, you should have won it by now. Well, if you want that much credit because it's that fucking hard, why should we have won it for now, right? There's two different styles of play. There is longevity play. There is playing over 38 games, right? And then there's cup competitions. Now, I'm not knocking cup competitions, but you do have to ride your luck a little bit more. Like
I wanted you guys to win it so bad over Chelsea, man, so bad. I even wore light blue on the day. I wanted you guys to win so bad because
and here's the thing, Egal, that was a bottle job. That was a bottle job.
Chelsea winning the second absolutely put their heads on the moon. They made them
what the FA
They made them feel
like me, bro. That's where I can look at it and I can say, like, someone tried saying to me that Real Madrid was a bottle job, and I'm like, sorry, I think you can see, what Real Madrid do in Europe at the Bernabeu, So for me, going out of a semi-final to Real Madrid in the Bernabeu, that's not a bottle job. But Tottenham in the final, Chelsea in the final, for me, when I look at the Chelsea that won the first Champions League, then the Chelsea that won the second Champions League, so I don't even know where Chelsea finished that season in the league. We should have beat them. It was a bottle job.
Let's rewind and let's get back to
Haaland injury.
Haaland injury. People want to know what's going on with Haaland's injury. I'm going to tell the people what's going on. I don't believe he's injured. My guy. I think this is Pep and this is Man City doing what they got to do to make sure he's prepared for the business end of the season. And I think it's smart by you guys. You guys know you have a prized asset. You can't afford to have him injured in a key part of the season. This is why you signed him, to win the Champions League. Yeah. And the reality of the situation is, I read the reports. I read what it said. It basically read in this fashion. It was typed in this fashion that Erling Haaland will be missing the upcoming games due to a groin injury. The extent of that groin injury, we don't know. Did he have this groin injury prior to Burnley? Probably.
No. So what it said, bro. What if you read it a bit more? So basically, it said that it's a groin injury that he discovered after the Burnley game. Right. So after the Burnley game, there was no, like, he didn't hobble off, right? Pep in his post-game conference didn't say nothing about it. And what they've said is that his groin feels a little tight. So it's precautionary, right? I'm sorry. We have got Like you lot already know. Huh?
You know it's cap.
It's cap. It's 100%. Same with Rashford. It's cap, right? Same with. I'm sorry, but for me, am I right that Martinelli, Gabriel didn't go to, and Jesus, none of them got picked?
Bro, they didn't get selected.
Right, there we go. So, is that because they're not good enough? No, it's because, like Eddie's had a chat and said, guys, does this really matter?
You know what?
I
said that on Twitter, but immediately I get met with, "Oh, you're delusional. You think these players deserve to be in the Brazil team?" Of course, they deserve.
Bro. Hold on, we're all three in the squad for the World Cup.
No. Gabriel Magalhães basically got pissed off after the Brazil team came out and tweeted, "I might as well start picking up another sport and put a basketball."
But Martinelli was, right?
Martinelli was, and
now he isn't.
Yeah.
And how's he been since the World Cup?
He's been outstanding.
Right, there we go then. So he does deserve to be picked. It's 100%. Look, we gave, and this is a thing that you've got to remember. International teams, boards, whatever it is, they owe clubs right now because we gave them players for a fucking month, right? We gave them. For me, these games shouldn't even be happening. From the Premier League, stopped for a month, longer than a month, in fact, and let players go. These shouldn't be happening for me, but they are. But definitely, I can tell you now, like managers of clubs will be saying, listen, we were paying players' wages for 4 or 5 weeks while they were away on international duty. We risked injuries. I'm sorry, business end of the season. If you are a club that's playing for something right now, do us a favor, send them back. Like 100%.
Let me say this. At the end of the day,
England should do the same with Saka, by the way.
Saka's gonna play. Play.
Waistcoat wanker.
Saka's gonna play. That's the reality. And what you got to realize is, Bukayo Saka, if he gets injured for on international duty, I'm gonna be pissed off.
Well,
just like anyone would be pissed off.
Well, but the amount of players that have come back. De Bruyne generally comes back from Belgium injured.
De Bruyne's not even playing for Belgium apparently.
Good.
So at this moment in time, you guys are taking care of your players, and you should. You have a lot of games in the second half of the season. We only have 10 games remaining. So the international duties, the players who go out there, let them go out there, let them do their thing. Just come back healthy. That's all I ask, right? So moving away from Haaland, we both agree it's cap. And I don't think anything's going to happen to you guys. Even if they find out that the extent of his injury is not that serious, Norway have given him the okay to stay home.
Sorry, one sec.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Norway have given him the okay to stay. So it is what it is. Now, I just want to shift gears quickly away from Haaland and to the international break. Does anybody enjoy the international break?
Not this. No.
I feel like the international break is just an opportunity for clubs to plan for the future and for international teams to do qualifiers and the FIFA to make money. That's it.
I think the biggest one you just touched on there, bro, the money thing. But you know what? I get that they have to happen. For me, though, after the World Cup, this is the work. It's the timing of it as well. It's like March, just as the business end of the season. This it's just. I know we're playing Ukraine, I believe, in Italy. I don't know when.
Did they give you a break though? As a match-going fan, you feel like you get a little vacation?
Well, my pocket gets a break, but I'd rather. Yeah, I've got a break, but I'm already excited to be travelling up on Friday the 31st for the weekend in Manchester of the Liverpool game. Like that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm not thinking, I want to watch the England game on TV. I want to go and watch City play Liverpool.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't have the same excitement for international qualifiers and friendlies as I would.
We lost it with it. We've lost any love for, like, during big tournaments. We'll get up for it, but bro,
and
you know what?
Who's watching?
Don't get excited. You don't get excited about Arsenal playing in a pre-season friendly, right? In a pre-season tournament.
I do. Like pre-season,
not like you do right now. Not like you do
pre-season.
Right now.
Pre-season gets me more excited than this international friendlies.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, because it's your club. But what I'm saying is, you'll kind of get up for a big, like the World Cup, the Euros will be like okay. But do you know what, bro? England should qualify for all these things. I don't care about it.
You know what? England's not going to automatically qualify. They need to have these qualifiers to make it fair. But you know what? Let's move on from internationals. There's before we go to Antonio Conte sacking, we need to talk about Jude Bellingham. Bro, what's going on with Jude Bellingham? Do you know something? Are you in the know? Because Real Madrid, Man City, Manchester United, I'm hearing Liverpool, I'm hearing in the grapevines that Arsenal tried to reach out, but they know that financially it's not going to make sense. There's so many, every club is looking. I heard Chelsea were looking to spend 120 before they got ended.
You know what? So I've heard things off of someone that told me last year about Haaland early doors. I've heard things, but same way, I've heard things. No. Let me say what I'm going to say. So I've heard things off of the same person that told me about Haaland 2-3 months early. I've heard it about Jude at City, but I've heard the same at Liverpool, right? And here's the thing, that there's a team in every football club that writes up contracts, yeah? Now, that process is done way before a player agrees, because if the player then agrees, the contracts have to be written up so they can go, right. People get that information and think it's done. A contract being written doesn't mean that a contract gets signed, yeah? So contracts being written, probably every club interested for him has a contract written, because everyone said he was going to make up his mind around March, April. So, of course, you have to have a contract written up by March or April to put it in front of him. But he ain't signed no contracts, yeah? Liverpool fans have got carried away. They're so uber confident. I'll be honest with you, as I said, I don't think Real Madrid suits him yet. Go there later in your career for me. I think, look, if Arsenal went for him, could work. If Man United went for him, could work, right? All these clubs, whatever. But if I'm being completely honest, the main reason I want Jude Bellingham is just so Liverpool don't get him, right?
For the better.
Bro, I'll be honest with you, the same way like with Saka. When Saka was young and playing left back, I was very much, look, for a guy to switch from playing left back to right wing, yeah, at his age shows a football brain, football IQ that has a very high ceiling. And I look at what Bellingham's done and the age of him, and I'm like, yeah, this guy's ceiling for his age and the amount of time he could be at your club, great. But do I think that Bellingham is a game-changing player that's going to go into any club and change that club completely? No, I don't.
You've seen it.
Bro, I'd be happy with, like, because we think Gundo and Bernardo might go in the summer, yeah? I'd be happy.
Imagine.
Yeah, bro, and don't, this is what I'm saying. If Bellingham came, I'm all for it. But
he's the Gundo replacement.
Bellingham, yeah?
He's the Gundo replacement.
Yeah, as a Gundo, or probably as a Gundo, not Bernardo. But, bro, we have got Grealish and Foden that can both drop deep and play in midfield. There are other midfielders out there. One thing, just as an example.
1 second, let me just respond to his comment. Martin, I don't want Calvin Phillips at this point.
Let him stay at City. As an example, right? I just said as an example on England players, yeah? And I'm not knocking what any player does outside of football, yeah? I'm only going to talk on, like, one of my brethren used to play for England schoolboys, and he always said that, like, when they were 16, they went on a tour and abroad somewhere, they're jumping out the window, going out on the piss. Next morning, they've got a game against a team they should batter. They get battered because English players' mentality just isn't quite the same. Now, yesterday, for example, Jude Bellingham out with Trent again, yeah? Now, I'm not saying this makes him a worse player, but I can tell you the players we've had at City, and I can tell you our best players, I didn't know what they did outside of winning on the pitch, yeah? I didn't know about what they did off the pitch because they were more bothered about getting a good night's sleep. They were so bothered about their diet and all of that, yeah? Now, again, I'm not getting at Bellingham, but there will be, like, this isn't like a Haaland that's going to come in and score hundreds of goals. There's a lot of midfielders out there, right, that are
quality.
Do you think Bellingham's going to come in and change any club in the Premier League?
No, what Bellingham is untapped potential at a ridiculously young age, who's been playing since he's 16 at Birmingham City.
And he's got a mad IQ. He's very talented.
Now, just before we move on from the Bellingham thing, I want to say, will Real Madrid have the most pull for Manchester United, Man City, and everybody? But the thing is, my question is, do you think Man City, do you think their pull alone will be enough to get Bellingham, or do you think the English connection will
We spoke on this earlier. there's a really good. I'll send you the link. Right, there's a really good documentary on Haaland. It's in Norwegian with subtitles, but it's about how he picked Man City. Yeah, and it wasn't like, because we had this conversation earlier on Never a Foul. It turned into who's the biggest club. It was really shit, but they went through and they scored multiple different things, yeah? And every player is going to have different things more interesting. For example, I think Mbappe was, who would Mbappe choose? And I'm like, well, first thing any player would look at probably is what other players are at the club that might keep them out. How much game time are they going to get? Like, so with Jude Bellingham, as an example, if I look at Liverpool, I'm looking at that thinking where Liverpool are right now, how they've been obsessed with him to a point I think is kind of a bit mad, yeah? That their whole future in the top 4 is based on Bellingham coming. Now, as a 19-year-old, I'd probably score them down on that. Like, fucking hell. If I don't hit the ground running, everyone's going to hold this against me, and it's going to decrease my value of my future move if I do want to go Real Madrid. Then, is he going to want to come England to where he's been away for 5-6 years? Is he going to want to come back to where his friends are and be around that? There's so many different pools.
If he goes,
I've even seen people saying City are losing their pool. Right, I've seen that recently. Yeah, that narrative.
Who said that?
It was a very big. Well, no, forget that. There's a bigger one than Haaland, and this season it was about 2 weeks ago. It's a very big channel. Not a channel we fuck with. It's like a, you know, the one that like Boovie and them lot go on. It's one of them ones, right?
The club,
and here's a prime example of how City really aren't losing their pool. Forget Haaland. Manchester City have just last week tied in a World Cup winner, yeah, who has scored, and not just a World Cup winner like Martinez, if we're being real, was a bit part player for Argentina. Alvarez was a World Cup winner, scored 4 goals, was very influential, right?
One of the best players.
He could go he's 22 years old, right? And he's not our starter, right? He has just signed till 2028. So you're telling me that our pool's going when we're getting World Cup winners that are influential agreeing to stay with us, even knowing there's a striker ahead of them. There's a serious pull at Man City, trust me.
Okay, but it's not about Man City at this point. I'm asking you, Real Madrid, do you think their pool could keep forget about Real Madrid getting Jude? Do you ever think Real Madrid or in Barcelona will ever lose their pool?
No, never.
Because that's more or less where I'm going. Because it seems like Manchester United, based on their league position, sometimes can lose their pool. Certain people will look at them and be like, "Yo, they're not run well." Arsenal, same thing. Premier League.
But here's the thing: your pool's about to get bigger.
It will, because we potentially could win the league. But when it comes down to it, unless you're at the top and you have the financial clout to do it, you're never going to have to worry.
Well, you have got the financial clout to do it. It's just if you're bored, and I think you're bored slowly listening to Arteta on everything.
Between us and the Spanish teams, there's only 2 teams in Spain that actually garner that kind of pull. Oh. Barcelona struggle financially, and Real Madrid are the only team really that can do it financially, even when they're not doing well. So,
do you know what is right? So a great example of this is, being honest with you, is Gabriel Jesus, right? Now, this is a perfect example to talk on Barca and Real Madrid. A young Brazilian kid, right? I can tell you now, his goal was some point in his life.
The baller.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've also seen Rice. I've seen loads, but
I've seen Madison to you guys too.
No, I think it wouldn't work. But right, listen. So Gabriel Jesus, young Brazilian, right? We know Brazilians always dream of playing for Real or Barca. Yeah, he came City. Now that's fine. People go, "Oh, stepping stone." But I don't mind people saying that players might come City and end up elsewhere. Players want to win as much as they can at one club and then move on, yeah? Because when a player ends their career, they want to be able to say, "I've won all of this." Because, look, Messi's being spoke on because he never did that, right? So we get that with Jesus. But I think with the way he was playing at City, being a bit of a bit part player, it limited how much Barca and Real maybe kept an eye on him. So I always thought the Arsenal move was a bit of a, he's going to go Arsenal, become the main man, and really get to show Real Madrid and Barcelona. And then maybe get that one move that as a young Brazilian kid, he's always wanted. But, and I still stand by that. Same with Haaland. When people say Haaland will one day go Real Madrid, I'm like, yeah, maybe he will, but he chose us. I'm not mad that he might go in 5 years, 4 years, whatever. But here's the thing. Sometimes players arrive at clubs And sometimes players fall in. Sergio Aguero, great example. Everyone always said one day he'd go back to Spain, play for Real Madrid. No, he fell in love with City and he stayed. So now Jesus is at Arsenal, the top man, everyone loving him. Sometimes players will look at that. De Bruyne, again. De Bruyne, he left Chelsea, went to a lower team. He hasn't left City since because once bitten, twice shy. You're like, you know what? I'm happy. My family are happy. Everyone here loves me. I'm winning trophies. So everything changes. And pool is a thing, but size of a club is... Come on, bro. Like United, like you said, United is one of the biggest clubs in the world. They went through a period where all they could buy were players whose mentality was totally wrong.
And they're okay with that at that point, but they fixed that finally. Now,
who do you rate more? Who do you rate more as a signing? Aubameyang or Ben White?
Ben White.
There we go then. Point proven.
Let's now. At the time, you think Aubameyang is a better signing
because of the name, but the mentality. He didn't trust in your manager, whereas Ben White did. You have to trust in the process.
Hey, if you win the league with Ben White, no one's going to care about Aubameyang. By the way,
I could list bare of them for you, bro.
By the way, at this point, we got to get on to the final topic of the day, Antonio Conte. You see what I did there? Honestly, I think Antonio Conte is a clown.
I think same. Hate him. Can't stand him.
Let me just land this. I think Antonio Conte, Dabs, has shown that he is taking jobs that he has no intentions of keeping in the long term. He is forcing their hand to sack him. I don't know if you see the interview, but in the interview before he left, he said, you can bring any manager here, it won't change. Try your best. He basically said, sack me, bring somebody else in and see if things get better, because it's not going to get better with me. And if he stays until the end of the season, this fully shows, without trying to get canceled, it fully shows that Daniel Levy is the guy who everyone says he is. Money-hungry guy. That's the reality.
He's already shown it. Look, the fact of the matter is, the fact of the matter is, when Jose Mourinho got them to a final, right, and Jose Mourinho, a serial winner, knows how to win trophies, got them to a final, and they sacked him just before the final to save a bit of money. That was Daniel Levy saying to every single fan that wants a trophy, fuck you, money's more important, right? Now, so we get it. We get Daniel Levy's a wanker and he's holding Tottenham back. Maybe. We don't know if there could be other things. But you know what? Sometimes more than one person can be in the wrong. And I'm like, maybe that is the biggest issue, right? But let's be what's pissed me off, not just with the interview the other day, but with all the interviews, is how this man is being so negative about Tottenham Fans Football Club, right? Their football club, their players, right? Making out like he is bigger than the club, right? I'm sorry. If I'm a City fan and someone's talking about my club like that, fuck off. Go away. You think you're bigger than us? No problem, bro. Fuck off. I don't care if we go back to the third tier of English football and has a manager that respects us.
He said nothing wrong.
But he said everything he says is right. But take some accountability, yeah? Some accountability. Don't push it all elsewhere. Now, here's the key. And you said it about why he takes jobs.
We know what he's doing.
When he took that Tottenham job in November 2021, right?
Yeah.
He took the job. And then in January 2022, when he started being asked about the transfer window, he said, I don't know. I need to speak to the owners. Right. That shows me that you don't give a shit about what your goal here is, right? Because November is only 2 months before the transfer window. If you are one of the first things you go, I always say this when I was talking about managers that certain clubs could get, the interview process should say it all. Because in an interview...
Let me stop you there. In the interview process, he knew what he was doing, because I remember when he got hired, he said yes to the contract. Last minute said, no, I want more in the final hours.
Money.
And then they had to give him more. And this contract that's stalling, you know why his contract's stalling? He wants a raise without guaranteeing anything. And he also, on numerous occasions, he's already asked them publicly, what is the direction of the club? Publicly out of the club after they got knocked out of the League Cup, and asked, what is the direction? They still haven't given him the answer.
Bro,
last year,
the whole thing is, it's just the whole club's
last year, Last year when they got knocked out of the cup. Do you remember the moment where he got knocked out? Everyone thought he's going to quit last year before they got top 4. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
This was always going to happen.
Yeah.
He's a clown as a manager. The way he runs a club is a shit show. He basically is like the best way to describe
makes decisions to try and force hands.
Basically, he's an egotistical. He's an
Yeah.
egotistical guy who believes that he is the best thing since sliced bread. But the reality is, unless everything is circumstances are perfect,
yeah,
he doesn't have.
Which they never are, by the way.
By the way, he's only had 2 domestic league titles, 2 domestic league tournament like cups in his tenure ever managing with Juventus and Chelsea. He's never done anything of note outside of being in a team that you get the best players and you get the best money. He, as much as we want to call him a world-class manager, is he?
Yeah,
or is he starting to become a dinosaur?
The other thing is that what you have to look at, is
he a dinosaur? That's my question.
I just think, right, the timing. You have to look at the timing, right? And to me, it looks like what he's done is now he's got to the point now where I wouldn't be surprised if you look at if we could look at the contract. There's probably at the point now where he has got enough money out of Tottenham. Yeah, he's got enough money, right? So now what he's doing now is protecting himself so he can go and fleece the next club. That what he's doing is he's making out no accountability. No one hold this against me. This is all on the board. This is all on the players. This is the players. This is all on everything. The same players that
That's what Jose did also.
That he said some of the best players he's ever worked with. Now it's the players' fault, right? This is so that he can leave here, go to a next club and get paid and rinse them again. There's no coincidence. The man, look what he fleeced Chelsea for, man.
But bro, this is the history of Tottenham. Jose, when he left, he did an interview in Portuguese where he said winning a trophy at Tottenham is an impossible task.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Now, here's the thing. This is why Tottenham deserve it, though, and Daniel Levy deserves it. Interview process. Interview process is not a one-way process. It's a two-way process, right? It's 2 people that get to interview each other, right? The board should be making sure that the manager is on the same journey as them. And the manager should make sure that the journey that the board want to take him on is the journey he wants to be on, right? If that matches, you get Manchester City. If that matches, you get Arsenal now, yeah? Where everyone is on the same page, pulling the same direction. If Arteta says, listen, this player, Aubameyang, is not on the same journey as you and I, so he needs to go. The board go, no problem. Not on the same journey as us 2. We're the 2 top dogs. They go. Same shit with Cancelo at City, right? If people are not on the same journey, whereas at Tottenham, none of them know what journey they're on because they're just Levy's in it for money, Conte's in it for money. So there's no discussion of journeys.
And the players are also culpable because they have no ambition. Because as much as we want to make fun of some of the players who left Arsenal, they left and they wanted to win. These players don't even want to leave Tottenham and go win. Like, bro, I'm telling you right now, you had an opportunity to sign Harry Kane. The best thing that happened to Man City is Harry Kane didn't go.
Yeah, agreed. Bro, and this is the thing. I've said this summer.
Would you say he's simply not good? I don't agree with that comment. I think he's good. But to say he's simply not good, no. Is he a winner?
He's good, but
is he a winner?
The issue with him,
he's not a winner.
The issue with him is his mentality, right? His mentality. Listen, back 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, when he nearly left to join City, if his mentality was proper, if Kane's mentality was proper, right, he would have left Tottenham. But his mentality wasn't. And now when you look at it, do you know what? I was making a thumbnail the other day, Mo, right? Yeah, because his mentality was proper. Modric, mentality proper. Bale, mentality proper. They left, right? Staying there, it's just because he's got... And I'm not saying his mentality is worse than mine, but his mentality is not elite to a point where it's going to take him to another level. He's comfortable, and I get it. Listen, I'm still in the same job for 8 years because I'm comfortable. So I'm not saying I'm a better man than Kane, but... his mentality is not going to take him to the level like Kyle Walker, to be frank with you. Like, Tottenham, but Tottenham bringing it on themselves. What they need is a board and a manager that both understand that in this day and age, a football club and the manager and the players and everyone else there needs to be on the same page with an actual goal, not just freestyle football.
Let me give you the answer. To any Tottenham fan listening, let me know if you agree, or any fans. They need to go and get their academy sorted, get a head of academy, so they have players coming from the academy, because their academy products are terrible. Then they need to, then one second.
Yeah.
Then they need to go and get an actual director of football who is not a criminal in Paratici, who actually understands.
Can you just tell me something quickly? Paratici, the law he broke, did it involve money?
Yes.
Right. So what we're saying is now that Conte is about money, Levy is about money, and the most importantly, the director of football is all about money. So no one's about goals or football strategies and the directors. Exactly. Yeah, there we go, bro. It just says it all.
Now, understand, you got Levy, Paratici, Conte. What you need is a manager who's going to be building for a project. You need Levy to get a completely hands-off approach and let somebody run the show, so you can oversee them, but get hands off. You need a director of football who cares only about building the team, and it doesn't matter how he does it, but there needs to be a goal. And you also need a head of academy to bring players through who actually fit what you guys do. And finally, the most important part of everything else, when you bring your players in, you need to have an idea of what type of players you want. Because
however, so here's a key. That's a perfect one to segue. Bro, so look at Daniel Levy. What one transfer did Daniel Levy manage in the summer?
The one with what's his name? Jed Spence.
Right, where who's being tight as hell to make sure he got him at the lowest possible price. Yeah?
Yeah.
Now, he came in, didn't play for Tottenham, or played maybe a couple of handful of games. Now he's loaned out in France, and what is he doing?
Killing it.
Right, so what's happening to his value?
Going up.
Right, so there we go. So he'll end up getting sold without ever playing for Tottenham, right? And what will he do for Daniel Levy? Make profit.
That's all they care about.
That's it. And this is the maddest thing, that we spent 45 minutes on Never Felt earlier having a discussion about the size of a club, right? And I'm sorry, size of the club, there are people that's important to. No problem. For me, it really isn't. Like, I want to see direction. What Arsenal have done this year, this is why I always backed Arteta, yeah? He has changed your whole club's mentality. And we have to be real. Egal, this is what you needed. Because if you go back to your golden era, right?
Big up.
Invincibles, you won leagues, right? But then, at the end of your golden era, the new stadium came. And that's probably Arsenal. Realistically, we all know that is the downfall of Arsenal, that you couldn't retain players and you couldn't sign the players that you wanted, right? And that hand in hand with maybe City, Chelsea, and whatever else coming up, you just dropped off, right? But now, thanks to Arteta and the squad he's assembled, you're coming back up. Now, one thing I'll say is, a lot of my friends' children, a lot of my friends are Arsenal fans, a lot of their children, I would say some of my friends have had a bit of a struggle they're Arsenal fans, but they've had to have some awkward conversations at times because, look, young kids, when they're 4 or 5, they support teams that are winning, right? But they've managed to get them on board. But now, where Arsenal are, guess what? Your fan base is about to start again doing this, right? Going up, right? You have one of the biggest stadiums. You already have one of the biggest fan base. So, and we know you run your club correctly. So you're going to start earning more money. Now, I would not be surprised if your club does start spending more money, because you don't want to go back to do what you did before, which was win a league, not win it, win a league, not win it, and never really do. This time round, you man are going to want to do better than you did last time.
You want to know something? Can I tell you something? For me, it's not about spending. For me, it's about Martinelli, Bukayo Saka, and Gabriel Martinelli. Bukayo Saka and William Saliba.
And Saliba.
Those 3 players, Martinelli, Bukayo Saka, and William Saliba, signing those guys to new contracts and keeping them.
You know what? I'm not going to lie to you, bro. You could throw more in there. Your whole, like, if you deep it, yeah. Ramsdale. I know Ramsdale will have its critics, bro, but Ramsdale for me is what a keeper should be. Very vocal, dominates the defense. He's a good keeper, man, and he'll get better. He's young.
Dabs, let me just finish this. Take yourself back to Arsenal 2 years ago when we had just signed Martinelli. I mean, just got Martinelli started to kick on and do well. Bukayo Saka is becoming one of the best players in England in his position, and he's also playing for England in the first team. And you have William Saliba, who's just come back off the back of getting Marseille Champions League football, and he's coming into the Arsenal team for the first time.
Nah, that's not 2 years ago. He's only been with you this season.
No, he's been with Arsenal. He's signed for Arsenal for.
Oh yeah, but he's only been with the squad for a season, right?
No, but he's been with us for 4 years. Basically, for the last 4 years, people were saying Saliba's going to be sold.
Yeah.
For the last 4 years, people have been saying Bukayo Saka is eventually going to have to leave to get to play for the top teams in England, Liverpool or City. Gabriel Martinelli, Liverpool is gonna come and scoop him up. Klopp loves him.
Yeah, all of it, bro.
Let me just finish, bro. And the fact that I always told Liverpool fans, you don't have the facilities to sign a player from Arsenal. The team that I was always worried about was Manchester City. And the fact is, you guys were always rolling around looking at Bukayo Saka. There was even murmurs of Bukayo Saka wanting a sell-on clause or a buyout.
I think he wanted to see what was going on at Arsenal, didn't he? He actually wanted to see
the level of ambition that was going to take place.
Yeah.
But now this season alone has given us the capital to give Bukayo Saka a new deal and make sure he stays. Give Martinelli a new deal and make sure he stays. Now I'm hearing today that William Saliba's contract, I'm hearing rumors that it's going to be signed after international break's done. Yeah. So that means all three of their contracts will be signed before we even win the Premier League title.
Saka's signed, didn't it? Saka's signed.
Saka's signed officially. Unofficially at this moment, Martinelli's officially signed, and William Saliba has basically put pen to paper today, reportedly.
Right. Okay. The other thing is the most important thing, and this is something that I mean, at the weekend, obviously with Vinny coming back to Burnley, I was having a lot of chats with City fans at the game about, like I was saying, for me, it would be, someone said, it'd be the dream come true. It'd be perfect. I said it would, but it has to be the dream come true. It can't be just because he's our manager. Now, I said for me at the moment, if I could have any manager in world football, luckily we've got Pep for another 2 years. But if Pep turned around all of a sudden and said, if I could have any manager in world football, it would be Arteta, because the philosophy is the same. The one direction is the same. He knows our club, all of it. Yeah. The way you play is very similar. But someone said to me, do you think he'll come? I said, not a chance. Pep said it himself. He loves your club. And that's one of the most important things you have. That this guy, and I don't care. I always used to say to Northside when he was saying, about this season, that if Arsenal don't get top four, should Arteta go? I said, look, I get it if you want him to go. What I'm trying to say to you is you have to credit him for the whole turnaround of your football club. The board is moving different. Everything at your football club. And that is because of that man. Now, that man wants to stay there. Yeah.
They won't credit him. The reason
he won't go, bro. He ain't going. They should credit him. It's mad. The way when you lose one game, there's an element of your fan base waiting to jump on his fucking back. Is the most mental.
Because they want to prove a point. No.
Well, they're right. But, bro, why do people care about whether they're right or wrong? If you support I would rather, if I have doubts this season that City can win the league, or doubts that City can win the Champions League, yeah? I have doubts because of my own mind and my own person, my own experiences over 35 years, in fact, nearly 40 years supporting this club, right? That's why I have my doubts. That's what PTSD is, yeah? But I want to be proven wrong in every single doubt I have for the good of my football club. When I see content creators on here going, see, I told you I was right. I was like, are you a real football fan? Are you more bothered about your own fucking ego?
Can I just tell you something? If a player has one good game, they're going to say it's only been one good game. Stop gassing it up. But if that same player has the shocker of his life, they're going to say, get him out my effing club. He lost us this match. This is an example of what he's going to do.
I see it. We've got that in our fan base as well. We have.
And it's not just the Arsenal fan base.
No, we've got it. We've got it. It's generally on Twitter.
Shout out Kajowin Train 26. This guy's been commenting on every single video for me for the last couple of weeks. Really do appreciate that. And you guys don't understand. It's not only about the likes and the subscribes and the watches, but commenting means so much also. So I appreciate that so much. Shout out to you, Train Kajoa, and shout out to one of your people, the City fan here, Jessica.
Yeah, that's true.
Always
Jessica.
2 years ahead for managers, and when he will get City a manager, he will always said that. Yeah, he always plans 2 years ahead. Look, I'm gonna wrap this up. Just before I wrap it up, I'm just gonna say this, bro. I really do appreciate you jumping on. The stream is amazing. People, make sure you do follow Never a Foul. Go check out their YouTube channel also. The link is in the description and in the title. And also, the most important thing, we're going to have 10 more games of this. We're going to have 10 more games of this, the ups and downs, the pure carnage, and it's going to be fun. Enjoy it. Try to be happy.
Bro, I'm telling you, yeah, the level of training. The other day, I was sat there looking, yeah, and realizing that we get back from Bayern on a Thursday, and I feel sorry for my brethren that are coming with me from Manchester. So they're driving down, parking their car here. We're going Stansted, going, right? When we get back on the Thursday afternoon. They've got to drive back to Manchester from here, right? We play at Wembley on the Saturday. So then they're going to have to come back down. And that is, and they're both cup games. You have to win them both.
Do you think you're going to win the FA Cup?
It's hard. Look, last year, semi-final of the FA Cup, we played a rotated team because we just played Real Madrid away. So, bro, I hope, you have to prioritise things. This is why when you lot made a couple of changes in the Europa League and a United fan said, see, Arsenal being disrespectful. I said, no, bro, respectfully, yeah.
That was Kaz. Yeah.
But I don't know names. But I said, respectfully, all you have left is the Europa League and the FA Cup, but you've got a cup, domestic cup. You want the Europa League. Arsenal have the Premier League, yeah? So, of course they're going to fucking rotate, bro. Come on. Like, it's easy for you to say that. There are priorities, and if you deep it as a City fan, Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup. So, if players are tired, players are drained, might Calvin Phillips start in the semi-final? Yes. But here's the key. We're Man City. Everyone knows we've spent money. That should be good enough still. Calvin Phillips in the midfield should be good enough to beat two of our loanies in Sheffield United. No disrespect to them, but it should be. That's why they're in the Championship and we're in the Premier League. If it isn't, that's because Sheffield United want it more. So,
fair enough. And you know what? We're going to wrap it up there, bro. You have yourself a wonderful day.
And you.
Big up to everyone in the chat. It's been a great stream. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And also, if you're going to take anything away from the stream, the title race is not going to be won or lost in one game. Keep your head, keep your composure. Don't go crazy. The Man City fans have been there, done that. But Arsenal fans, we need to have thick skin because every game is going to feel like a battle.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, you don't lose the war in one battle. But yeah, we're out of here, people.